Let's talk about putting bank accounts into a trust, what it means, why people do it, how it works, and what to watch out for. When you put a bank account into a trust, you're essentially changing the ownership type of that account from, say, an individual or joint account to a legal entity, which in this case is the trust. But why does this matter? Because a trust isn't just paperwork, it's a tool that you can use to control how your assets are managed during your life and even in the unfortunate circumstances that you pass away. But why do people put their bank account into a trust anyways? The main reason is to avoid probate. And there's other ways to avoid probate that's less complex and way less expensive, like just adding a POD or TOD to the account, payable upon death or transfer on death. But when an account is only in your name and you pass away, it often has to go through what's called probate, which is a public court supervised process that delays access to that account and can cost a lot of time and money during a super unfortunate circumstance. And there are ways around this, like an affidavit of heirship up to a certain dollar amount, and it all depends on what that bank's comfortable with and if they even feel comfortable doing it. But when the account's owned by, say, a trust, your successor trustee can usually access those funds immediately, no questions asked, no court delays. You have full control and privacy over your account and what happens to it. You can specify who gets what, when, where, how. So let's say you wanted to stagger distributions or restrict access until someone hits a certain age. A trust can allow you to do that. And unlike probate, it's all handled privately. Protection is if you become incapacitated, if you become unable to manage your finances for whatever reason, your successor trustee can step in and handle the account on your behalf without court intervention. In the process to set up a trust, it's fairly easy. You work with an estate attorney. If you want to go this route, you could Google around on this to create your trust. It can be revocable, which means it can be revoked or changed later, or irrevocable, which means you're locked in. You obtain your trust documentation. You'll need a trust agreement and possibly a certification of trust, which is a summary version to give to the bank. Go to the bank to either request to open up a new trust account or just retitle your existing account in the name of the trust. The bank may require all trustees and sometimes beneficiaries to sign off. Depending on their policies, what I usually see is that just the trustees have to sign. The successor trustees' addresses will need to be listed on the documents, and boom, that's all you really need. And then as far as updating your beneficiaries, you want to make sure that all of that's up to date. The bank, in most cases, may not keep a copy of your trust on file. They just use it to title the account correctly. Takes a while, so you might just drop it off and come back to re-sign all the docs. But once the account is in the trust name, make sure you don't have any conflicting payable on death or transfer on death designation still tied to it. Usually the bank will remove this automatically, but just double check your work, man. You can never be too sure. But there are some things to watch out for, like FDIC insurance. So accounts held in trust are still insured, but coverage depends on how many beneficiaries are listed and how the account is titled. So you want to make sure it's structured correctly to avoid any reduced coverage. I believe the max amount that you could get, and verify this, Google FDIC insurance, go to the IRS website and see how much up to 5 trustees will give you. I believe it's like 1.25 mil in FDIC insurance, but these numbers could change, so double check my math here. You want to make sure that if you later change trustees or amend your trust, make sure that the bank is updated. Outdated info could cause the delays you're trying to avoid or assess issues, which is a complete headache to deal with. So is it overkill? If the only reason you're setting up a trust is to pass down one checking account with like $15 in it, there may be simpler options like a POD or like a joint account. A trust is most valuable when you have multiple assets in a more complex plan. So putting a bank account into a trust isn't just for the wealthy. It's a smart, strategic way to protect your finances, give your loved ones a smooth path, and make sure your wishes are honored without unnecessary court drama during an unnecessary time. Great luck out there.